Okay, is everybody there? All right, let's get started. I'm going to bring this up and we are going to get started tonight on a wreath. And let me bring you up here. Hope everybody is doing great tonight. Okay, so that's a little too much. I'm going to turn that off. A little too much light over there. So how's that looking? Can everybody see me? I'm going to move this just a little bit. All right, let's see. Seems a little cloudy. I'm not really sure why, so I'm going to move this light over here. See if that helps. How is everybody doing tonight? Okay, so I think that's pretty good. I think that's as good as we're going to get. I've got some people on. If you're on, let me know who you are and who's watching, and we will get started. And yes, I have been sick. Yesterday I went to the doctor and I have a sinus infection and an ear infection, but I wanted to get this wreath done. This is actually a wreath for my sister-in-law. So Tracy, if you're watching, hello. And hey everybody. We're going to make a wreath, and because it's for my sister-in-law, I have creative liberty, and I like creative liberty. So we're going to do a few things different tonight. We're going to start with a 12-inch wreath frame because I want to make it a little bit bigger for her. And as you can see, there's 6 sections in the wreath frame, and you can find these, I believe, like at Hobby Lobby and Joann's and Michael's. They all sell the 12-inch. So, and of course I didn't share it in my group. So who's going to share it to Wreath Creators and more for me? I'd appreciate the help. Thank you. Just let me know if you'll share it for me. So I don't know why I always forget that. I shouldn't be forgetting that. If you're not in my Facebook group called Wreath Creators and More, come and join us. Okay, so let's get started. Tonight we're going to use this, let's see, that's called the olive green poly burlap. It comes in a 10-inch roll, and I believe I cut 12 of these because we're putting extra leaves on this tonight. I wanted to have a little bit different look. So I cut these. There's no we in it. Nobody else is helping me. So this is cut in 12 or 11.5-inch. Thank you, everybody. I get the little hearts and all that. It's so sweet of you. I cut 12 of these in the 11.5-inch, and I did use my wood burner. And people always ask, where did you get your wood burner? This is I want to say it's the Walnut Hollow brand, and I get this from Hobby Lobby, and they're $14.99, and I used my 40% off coupon, so I paid like $8 for that. So anyways, let's get on with this, okay? So if anybody can let me know if they shared it to Wreath Creators and More, I'd appreciate that, because that's my group. So anyway, so we're going to take 11.5-inch cut olive green, and I'm going to put my pipe cleaner around just like I always do. I wrap it around that bottom bracket, and this is over this bracket. It's the same every time. We take our leaf and curl side up. We're going to meet the corners in the middle, and we are just going to, what do you call that? I can't even think right now. We're going to scrunch it up together, okay? And then I'm just going to put it in here and just give it a turn. So we've got one leaf there. So now we're going to come over here and we're going to do this one. I'm going to repeat the same process. Meet in the middle, scrunch it up, flip it over, and there we go. Alright, so let's start with the petals. This particular wreath is going to be made with this cream colored poly burlap. I cut these in 10-inch pieces. Wow, Kelly, you're from Scotland. Welcome to the live. Thank you, Shelly, for sharing that to Wreath Creators. These are 10-inch rolls, and I cut them in 10-inch squares, okay? So with this wreath, because this has 6 brackets, you're going to do, let's see, you're going to need 36 petals, and then we're going to need 6 more petals in the center. So for this wreath, you will need 42 petals, okay? and we're going to use 12 for the leaves. So I'm going to take one piece like this, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the leaves, and I'm going to scrunch it up, gather it up, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to put it right over top, and I'm just going to do one tie. Okay, do another one. You've seen me do this before. If you've watched before, if you haven't, if you're new to this page, make sure to like and follow. I am working on a system to alert everybody, and some of you should have gotten alerted. If you got the alert tonight, will you post that in the comments and let me know if you got that for me? I'm just kind of testing it out, and I'm trying to figure it all out. So what I always do is I take this, and I'm going to go underneath right here. And make sure you can see that, okay? See how I go underneath? And we're going to secure that, okay? And I'm going to twist it. So, okay, so now we're going to do the same thing we did here. We're going to do it right here. Two more. So in the top of this post, I put up there my Christmas tree tutorial link. I do sell those, and they're on sale this week. And the reason why I put it up there is because I will be hosting a live in the private group for the Christmas tree tutorial, and we'll be giving my thoughts on business advice and such. And people are asking their questions right now in that group so that we can get them together. The way that you get in that group is you buy the Christmas tree tutorial, and you learn how to make a Christmas tree. You also learn how to make another wreath as a flower with that same method, which is great. And what's kind of neat with that is that so many people have been making them. They're alternating the design of them, and you can just do so much. So if you want to get in on that live, and you want to hear how I run my business and what I think and how to start your Etsy shop, and make sure to purchase that tutorial. Okay, so this is where we're going to put an extra leaf, okay? Normally what we do is we do two petals here, two petals here, and then we do two in the middle. I want an extra leaf right here, okay? So I'm going to run this here. I don't know if you can see that. I wrapped it around the outer two, and I want the part where I twisted on the outer, because I want to make sure that leaf is right there. So I'm going to take a green, do the same thing, and I'm going to put underneath, just kind of move the leaves a little bit, or the petals I should say. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner, and I'm going to run it to this middle part. And so now we're going to put two petals right here so that it's in the middle. Okay, so we're just kind of saving some time and some pipe cleaners. So, two more of your cream colored. You're going to want to gently do this. And we're going to make one right here. And one more. So as you can see, you're going to have more green. And then I'm just going to tie it. There's not going to be a lot left, but there's just going to be enough that I'm going to tie it to that front wire rim right there, okay? I'm going to just twist it. All right, so we have the two outers, one middle with an extra leaf, and now we're going to go right here, and we are going to do another leaf layer. Get two more. I've got my stash over here on the side. So let's see, we'll do this. Okay, got a little bit of a string. Oh, sorry, we need our leaf first. See, I get ahead of myself. That's not good. Oh, thanks, Christina. Thank you for sharing that to Need to Read. I appreciate that. All right, so we're going to put a leaf in there, and now we're going to put a petal. Leaf, petal, okay? And we're going to do a braided center, and I'll show you what color. We're going to do this, and I will show you how we put that together in a minute. Okay, so do another petal. What kind of mesh is this? This is poly burlap. I love poly burlap. If most of my lives are with the poly burlap, I just really love it. I do have some fabric mesh that I really want to do sometimes, so we will get to that. Okay, so like I did for the middle section, we're going to go back and we're going to do these middle petals, but I want to put one more leaf right here, so we're going to use the same pipe cleaner. And if this is too many steps for you, feel free to add just a leaf here and then do a separate pipe cleaner here. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm just doing this to kind of add one less step for me to do. That's all. Don't have to do it this way at all. So I'm going to get a leaf. I like the colors that I'm going to use in this wreath just because it's very neutral. And I mean, this could carry into the fall time easily. So I'm going to just twist this and put this right here. And then you see how it's on top of my petals. I got to gently bring my petals on top of that leaf, okay? And then I'm going to take the pipe cleaner and I'm going to run it underneath the next wire frame. And then we're going to add our petals right here. So we got two more right here. So, alrighty. We got people from Texas, from Ohio. I know where Marion, Ohio is, Christy. Driven through that many times. Colorado. What I have noticed, or not noticed, but what I figured out is I can load this live onto my YouTube channel, and I will do that probably this weekend. I loaded 3 lives onto my YouTube channel so that it's a little easier for you all to find if you want. So, okay, so I just twisted that and adhered it, or twisted it on that front wire frame. So now we're going to go over here, and if you see, we have our first middle section bracket that we can do. Can you see that? Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to put 2 petals right there. So, wow, everybody's got people from everywhere. So, take your pipe cleaner, and I folded my petal before I put my pipe cleaner on. So I just take my pipe cleaner and I put it on both sides of that bracket there. And I'm just going to put one, and I'm going to twist it, and then I'm going to put one on top of it. Okay. This is going to make, I want to say a 26 or 12-inch wreath frame should make, yep. By the time, yeah, 26-inch wreath in diameter. If you use a 10-inch wreath frame, you're going to have a 24-inch wreath in diameter. 12-inch frame is going to give you 26, and a 14 would give you a 28. So I'm going to just pull that back here, and I'm going to attach it underneath. And this way we know that our petals are going to stay put. And when I'm done, I will just, actually I'm going to just twist all that together. I will trim all these up. Okay, so now we're going to do to the next one, that is going to be a leaf and 2 petals. We just keep repeating this process. So, thank you, Heather Thomas. I appreciate that. Okay, so then I have you all seen my newest sunflower trio tutorials? Those are out too, and a lot of people are starting to make those. And they are so fun. I feel like they look really authentic, more like a sunflower, and there's a couple options there. So if you want that, again, the link is in the description above here. So, let's see, do 1, 2, I can't believe it's June already. Do another one, okay? And the summer is beginning. And I wanted to ask you guys, do you want to see a patriotic wreath? I was thinking about doing a live maybe Thursday evening and doing maybe either a red and white flower with a red, white, and blue center. I don't know. Do you guys want to see a patriotic flower? Let me know in the comments. Say yes to the patriotic. I don't know. What do you think? Is it too late in the season? The green is the olive green, I believe it's called olive green, at places like Craft Outlet and Trendy Tree and the wreathshop.com. So we're going to do our leaf, and the leaves are always cut in 11.5 inches. I always cut them a little longer because I want them to peek out when you're making your flower, okay? So, oh, I'm getting some yeses on the patriotic flower. Okay. So, you know, if I make the patriotic flower, this is probably going to be me winging it. So, you got to be patient with me, all right? So, do another one of these, and then we'll do the middle. Actually, you know what? Can you tell what I did wrong? I skipped ahead. I don't usually do this. So, we'll fix my mistake here in a moment. I missed a spot. I got to talking to you guys about a patriotic wreath. Where are you getting your poly burlap, Julie? This is all stuff I've had for a while, but I usually get it from the wreathshop.com, craftoutlet.com. I know that, so we're going to go back here because I forgot to do this middle section. So we're going to go do that. Craftoutlet.com is supposed to be getting some more colors in soon. I know they had the yellow, and within what, 24 hours they sold out? So you guys are buying up that poly. So maybe I should stop doing lives. Are you buying poly burlap because I'm doing lives? I don't know. So I'm going to twist it here, and then I'm going to put this pipe cleaner to the middle because I want the section, the petals, to be in the middle there. So I don't have any blue poly burlap, so if I do have red, and I do have white, and I did pick up some blue deco mesh. I thought about doing a braid with red, white, and blue. I know I've been doing braids a lot here, so I apologize for that. But I was thinking about doing a braid with the red, white, and blue. I've seen somebody do that. I forget who in Wreath Creators and More did that, and it looked fabulous. And that's what I love about groups like Wreath Creators and More, and my private groups for the marigold and the apple blossom, and then for my private group for the Christmas tree. I love having those groups because you guys have everybody has a unique look on things, and everybody says, oh, these colors would look pretty. And sometimes I don't have the time to make them all, and I love to see what you come up with. So, all right, so we're going to go back to the middle, and we're going to do our second middle section right here, okay? Going to take 2, and we're going to do the same thing. And if I'm going too fast, I'll do it slower here for you in a moment. This will be on replay, okay? So whatever you miss, you can go back and watch this again. And like I said, I will post this on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. This is a Facebook Live right now. So if you hear me talking to people, that's why. Okay. I didn't slow down and do that for you. Let me do the next one. Sorry about that. A green, then 2 white, same spot. Then the next one. Okay. Sherry, I'm adding more green leaves to this one. I don't normally do this many green leaves, but I wanted to do one a little bit different. This is for my sister-in-law, and I have creative freedom. So we're just going to try something different. Whenever I have a little bit of freedom that it's not in order, I try to do something different. So we're going to do this middle section again that I skipped, and I went to that. So we're going to do this. I usually do the outside, 2 outsides, the middle, the outside, the middle, and then the inside. Okay? So we're going to do a leaf. So again, I'm going to do this slowly. You take it, and it's always the curled side up, and you're going to meet in the middle, and you're going to just scrunch it. You're going to gather it. I'm going to place it inside my my pipe cleaner here. And here I'm going to just gently make sure I put these petals over top of this. Okay? And then I'm going to take the pipe cleaner and I'm going to wrap it around the next bar. And then we're going to put 2 of the petals right here in the middle. So when you're looking at a wreath frame, there is an outer rim, there's a middle rim, and there's an inside rim. This is the middle rim right here. No, Frankie, my pieces are not cut 10.5 inches. They're cut 10 inches. The petals are 10 inches. The leaves are 11.5 inches. There's a difference because you want the leaves to poke out. So you want to have a little bit more of the leaves. So, okay. So we've done that middle. Now we're going to go and we're going to do one of the inside. See? It's on the same bracket as one of your leaves and 2 petals were. We're going to pull that through, and as you can see, we're almost done with this part. And then we will work on the middle. So make sure to save this to your timeline if you want to. That's probably the best way to save it, is to save it, to share it on your timeline, I'm sorry. And then that way you can go back to your timeline and you can find this alive and be able to make a wreath of your own. Some more, and then we'll start on the middle part. And this is very similar to the one I did on YouTube, but that was with a 10-inch wreath form, and this is a 12-inch. So that 12-inch, the difference between a 12-inch and a 10-inch for your petal count would be 6 petals. So for a 10-inch, you would use 30. For a 12-inch, you would use 36. But then at the end, we're going to add a few more petals. So we're going to add 6 more petals on the inside here. I hope that wasn't too confusing. Put one here. All right. I see everybody's adding their comments, so I hope this is interesting enough. I feel like I do the same thing all the time, but like I said, this is what I sell. People like to buy this stuff, and it's what sells for me. And what I like about doing flower wreaths like this is that I can reproduce these over and over again. And really, that's how you make money. If you want to make money selling wreaths, you need to be able to reproduce what you make, because you have popular sellers and then you have some that may not be as popular. But if you can remake a wreath if you can make a wreath 100 times, that's a lot of profit. So that's one of the tips that you will get in the Christmas tree tutorial. Here's a little bit of a tidbit, is to make something, to produce something that is reproducible. That's how you make money. So, okay, I gotta reach my leaves over here where I can't see them. Okay, so we have 2 middle sections left here because we've done all the outer leaf sections, and then we have 3 more inside sections here. So let's get this going. Okay, so you put your green leaf here, and then you're going to gently put it underneath these other seeds. Getting a little crowded here. Hold on, make sure I'm doing this right. Gets a little crowded. Can you see? I'm sorry if I'm getting you out of view here. That's not my intention. I'm going to make sure you can see it. Okay. I'm going to put 2 more in the middle section there of the petals. Let's see. Here we go. And now you always go forward with these flower wreaths when you're trying to attach them, at least my flower wreaths with my tutorials. This is the way I work. You might do something different, and that's okay. This is just the way I like to do it. I always go forward so that it kind of brings your your petals up. Okay, one more inside on this side here. I'm going to add 2 more petals right here. Okay, how do you come up with the pricing, Roseanne wants to know. That is all trial and error and time management, what you have in your product. Again, that'll be something I'll be discussing in my Christmas tree group. But it's just, there's not a simple formula for me. I look at it a little differently, I guess. I know some people say, however much you have something in it, multiply it by 3. There's so many different formulas. It really, you know, you have to be comfortable with making what you want to make on a product. How much, you know, because what it may take me to make time-wise and you to make might be 2 different things. So you could be faster than me and be able to say, oh, I can do it for this much. But again, I'll talk about that in the Christmas tree group. So if you want to be in that Christmas tree group with that private live with me and ask me questions, the link for the Christmas tree tutorial is at the top of this post. Okay, we're going to do another middle section. And I have to remind myself, do you guys like the extra leaves? Can you see it? I don't know if you can really see it as much. But I didn't want them, I know I did a live, maybe a month ago, where I did this technique a little bit different so that you could see more of the leaves. But I think once I'm done and I can take a picture of this outside, you'll be able to see it much better. I'm wondering if my sister-in-law is seeing this. Tracy, are you on? So hopefully she is. She's seeing her wreath get made. I feel bad. She asked me to make this for her. Oh my goodness, a month ago. I feel bad. Excuse me. I have been sick for a week straight, and I know I probably should be resting, but I wanted to get this done. Okay. So 2 more here. The petals, I go to the middle section of the frame, even though that the leaves are on the out section. So, thank you, Roseanne. Yep, that'll get you in both groups if you purchased all 3 of the tutorials. And I do private lives. I've got some really pretty new burlap. I'm going to do one as soon as I get to feeling better and get some more energy here. So, okay, so we did this. And just gently move your petals. Sometimes you just have to move them out of the way. And the reason why I do it this way, and I talked about this in the last live I did, is that you don't see a bunch of fraying. I do use the wood burner, and I talked about that at the beginning of this live. It will be on replay, and I will post this on my YouTube channel. Okay, so now we only have 2 sections left, and there's 2 inner brackets that we're going to do. And then we are going to get started on the middle. Okay, so this is just a bigger version of my braided center wreath. And I think I'm going to attach the braid a little differently to give it a little bit of a flatter look, just to make sure that we fill all this space in. That's very important. We don't want to see any gaps. Oh, Cindy, thank you. You are so sweet to say that. So, yes, Carla, if you buy the package with the Christmas tree and the flowers, you will see the Christmas tree tutorial. You will also get to see how I make the flower out of deco mesh using the Christmas tree method. Yes, you get to see all that. You'll get to see the live I'm going to do about answering questions on how to start an Etsy page, how to start a Facebook page, how to sell your wreaths, basically. I just had my 3,000 sale on Etsy last week, so, you know, I think I know what I'm doing. So I hope that that's of value to my already customers, and I know I've got lots of great questions coming. So, okay, so let's do 2 more here, and then we're going to work on the center. Okay. last one. Well, I better twist that enough, okay? I'm going to attach it to the underneath the bar here, and I'm going to twist. Okay. So here we go. There is the flower. What we'll do is we'll make the center and we'll go back and we will, I don't even know if you can see it. It's so big. It's so big that you can't even see the whole thing. But I really like how the leaves are coming out, okay? So let's make the center. So what I did is I took, this is poly burlap too. Let me show you what I use here. This is not the right color, but it'll show you what I use. This is 10-inch poly burlap. Tonight we're going to use the natural color. And let me get a drink because my voice is getting... So, anyways, what I did is I cut out, for this particular one, I cut out, let's see, 2 yards in length. Okay, so I would take my cutter here and I cut out 2 yards. So what I did was I cut 3 of these out. I laid them right over each other like this, 3 layers, and then I just took it like this and I secured that with a zip tie. You pretty much kind of have to stand up when you do this. I then started to braid it from one end to the other, okay? And then after you get that braided, you're going to zip tie. So you're going to have zip ties on both ends. And then you're just going to gently pull because this poly burlap has a little bit of give to it. So it will make your length of a braid even longer. Now, I waited to cut my ends because I wanted to show you this new gadget I found on Amazon, and it's the AKE brand. What I have to do this, but I need to come up with my favorite tools and give you the links. But what I like about this is I go through here and it cuts pretty easily. And then that's already cut. So I love that. Very nice and easy. It's only got like one razor blade on one end and then the other part doesn't have a razor blade. It's kind of weird. I don't know how I found this. Forget what I was looking up. Okay, and you got to be very careful not to cut your fingers. Okay, but it's just a cool toy. And yeah, keep it out of the reach of your kids. Okay, so what we're gonna do, get rid of our mess here. I'm gonna get some of these. They're like 3. I'm going to use 2 different kinds of zip ties here. I'm going to use, they're almost 4-inch zip ties and then the 8-inch zip ties. So I'm going to grab a few of these actually. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start rolling on one end and we're just going to keep rolling, okay? So I'm going to kind of have this down. You see what I'm doing? I'm kind of holding that end down and I'm going to wrap it around here, okay? So as I start to wrap that, I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to start zip tying that together so that it will hold. I'm going to run it through, and this can be a little difficult at first, but you just got to get it through your zip tie, run it through the braid, and then you want to run it through another portion of the other side of the braid, and then connect it. Okay? So we're going to keep going like this. This is the bottom side, okay? This is not going to be the top side. So as I go through and I wrap this, can you see that? I'm going to zip tie. I'm going to run the zip tie through one of the braids. Got to pull it through and then it's going to go through the other side. And I want it to kind of go through more than just a few strands here. Okay, there we go. That's good. Now, if you've watched this technique on YouTube, I have a separate video I did 3 months ago maybe. I did this in more of a dome, but we're going to do this more of a flat look because I want this to be wider. And if you hear my dog, he's hearing the kids and I think he thinks they're coming downstairs, which I hope they're not. But you know what? I'm a mom, so that's what happens. So anyways, my dog sits down here with me and watches over me basically. Anytime I come down here, he comes down here. So we're just going to keep running it through. Let's see. Hi Kimberly. The link to join for the link for the tutorials are actually in the tutorials themselves and in the listing for the tutorials. But when you join the groups for the Christmas tree or the apple blossom and marigold, you must answer the questions. I need to be able to look up your purchase on Etsy. So basically, whatever name you use on Etsy, that's what I need to know. So it's Julie's Christmas tree tutorial group, and then Julie's apple blossom and marigold group. Okay. So I'm going to run this through here. We're almost to the end, and I'm going to show you how we're going to hide that end piece. Okay, doesn't want to be, there we go. And then we're going to go back through and add some more zip ties just to make sure that it's nice and secure. Got to make sure the zip ties face in the right way so it'll attach. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. Okay, so I want to make sure, and you can kind of play with it. You can kind of twist it, and I want to make sure that it looks the way I want it to look, okay? So we're going to pull that up, and then we're going to add some more zip ties underneath there. Okay, so do you like that? I kind of like that. I think that looks pretty. So on my Etsy, there's links in the top of this post, Kimberly. So I'm gonna run this one through a couple, this braid and this braid, and then I'm gonna wrap it around this one, the underneath of it. But I have to get it to cooperate. Come on. All right, I'm gonna pull it through somewhere. It always happens when you're live, right? Stuff like this always goes wrong. It's like wants to be the most difficult zip tie on earth. So, okay, I got it. I got it. All right, so let's do that, and then we're gonna look at it and make sure it has the look I want. So she was wanting more of beach colors, and so I think this is kind of more of the look of sand to me. So that's why I did the lighter. This is the natural color of poly burlap, and that's what it's called, natural. So I'm gonna just cut all of these off. Make sure you have a trash can handy because you will make a mess. I know I do. And let's see. I'm just gonna add a few more zip ties just to make sure we're on there good. Okay. But if you haven't joined Wreath Creators and More, make sure you join that group. That's a free group. That's if you like any type of crafting and you like to post, you know, share your stuff, that's a good group to be in. That's my friend Michelle Noble of A Noble Touch. Okay, I think that looks good. What do you think? You like that? So let's attach this to our wreath, okay? So what we're gonna do is on the bottom side of this, I'm gonna run, I think, let's use 3 of these. I'm just gonna run 3 of the 8-inch, and I think that should be long enough to attach this to it. Okay, there's one. I'm gonna put one there, and then I'm gonna just kind of randomly put another one over here, and then we'll put one right here. And then we will put this in the middle of our wreath, and then we're gonna add a few more petals actually to finish this wreath off. Okay, so let's put this back. So I'm going to pull this up, and we're gonna just pull this over here. Yep, that's gonna go in very nicely. And when you see me putting this, you're gonna see some spots, and that's where we're gonna put our extra petals in. So I'm gonna gently flip this over. I'm gonna put my hand right here, and I'm not even resting this on, and please forgive all these zip ties. I'm gonna trim all this up. But for the sake of time, we're gonna keep going, okay? So I'm gonna attach my zip ties, and my hand is actually, this is not laying on the table. my hand is actually holding it up because I really want to prevent as much, I don't want the petals to get flattened, and that's probably one of the biggest no-nos in when you're making a wreath like this, is that if you flatten it on the table to try to work on it, you're going to mess your wreath up. You're going to have fraying. So you really have to, and like I'm holding this up now, you really need to treat it very gently, okay? So we're going to just tighten those up. Let's turn it over. Okay, so as you can see, we're just going to move these petals over a little bit, okay? You can see that we have a little bit of gaps, and that's okay. When you're making this, I anticipate that there's going to be some gaps. What I'm going to show you is how to fill in those gaps now. So I'm just separating my petals here because we're going to fill in those gaps now, okay? And this will help show you where to put them. So what we're going to do that one over there, is, let's see, make sure I have 6 of these. I do. Okay, so I have 6 more petals. These are the 10-inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and I'm going to do my petal, meet in the middle, gather, and then I'm going to kind of hold it this way. I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to take it down and I'm going to twist, okay? That's what you're going to have, all right? So what you're going to do is you're going to put it in between the 2 petals. So do you see the gap that I have there? That's where I'm going to go. I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to pull it down, and I'm going to attach it to the bracket itself of the wreath frame. Okay? All right. Now we're going to move over, and we're going to do the same thing right here. We're going to make our petal. Take a pipe cleaner, bring it down and twist it, and then we have a petal right there. I'm going to pull it down in the center here and attach it to the inside of the wreath frame, and you're just going to twist. Okay, and then in a minute we will fluff everything up and make this look beautiful. And what that does, it's going to hide all of our gaps. So you're going to do this 6 times, okay? We've done 2 so far. This is our 3rd one. And I keep doing this. Thank you, Alice. Is it Allison? I'm glad you enjoyed making my Christmas trees. Those are fun to make, and they are a big seller. I think I made 60 and sold 60 of those last Christmas. So I don't know if I'm going to have a limit on how many can be ordered this year because I just was so busy. Okay, let's see. So we have 3 more to do. Can you see me working here? I want to make sure you see me working. Let me smooth this over. All right. Well, good, Deborah. I'm glad that you can see it. That's my biggest thing. I know people are like, oh, I'd love to see you. And from time to time I do it. There's a video of me and Michelle at Pat Catan's. But when you're learning something, you don't need to watch me and my face. You need to see what you can do. You need to be able to make it. So, and that's how I like to learn. I mean, I want to see it being done. So I'm going to just kind of bring this over. So as you can see, I'm just, let me get my words right. I'm just trying to adhere it to this bottom rim, okay? So it's just really important to me that you can learn and you can see what I'm doing, because I just think that's the best way to learn. I can tell you how to do something, but if you can see how it's done, then you can make it. And you can make it for your door or your family and friends, or even to sell, you know. My goodness, there's just no way I can make enough wreaths for the doors of America. It's not possible. So make some flowers. It is awful. I'm not awful, but it's just fine with me. Okay. So we're going to put this one, and then we have one more. And then we will go around, and I will show you how to fluff it up, and you will see the finished product. So, did anybody get their live notice? I'm wondering if anybody saw the live. If you did, I'm trying to incorporate a alert system, but I'm a little challenged when it comes to technical stuff. I know it might not seem like it. I'm trying to get this to adhere to the wreath frame. Okay. So, okay, so we've got one more right here. And honestly, if you want this to be bigger, this was 2 yards, I can't talk, 2 yards lengths, 3 of them. You could just cut them in 2.5 yards, and that would make this even bigger. So, this is the last one. Okay. And I also think when you add this middle section of petals, it kind of gives it a little bit of, oh, good, Gloria. I'm glad you got the alert. I'm glad to hear that it's working. That means that I will be having a post soon, and so that you all can get the alerts, and that tells me that it worked. So that's awesome. Okay. This inside layer of petals, and I'm just twisting it here, just kind of adds a little bit more fullness and volume that comes up. So now we need to go through and we need to just kind of work on our petals. And I might actually stand up here so I can see this better. Yeah. So you're just going to go through and you're just going to gently, and you will have some fraying that you'll go through, and we'll trim them out. But what you're going to do, and that looks a little, let's move this. You can, with the zip ties, you can move this around, which is really nice too, okay? And if you still see some holes, you can kind of just take your poly burlap and move it over. And again, this can be done in any color. You don't have to use cream or the olive green. You could do this in whatever color you would like. You could do several colors too. So I'm just going through and I'm kind of gently separating the petals. So, Deb, thank you. Okay. So, as you can see, I'm getting a little bit of fraying, but that's to be expected. That's not unusual. And then I'm going to press some of these down. If I can see that pipe cleaner, I'm going to press it down. That's all you got to do. Okay. So on the back of this wreath, what I will do is I will cut, this is a 10-inch circle, so I'm going to need a 12-inch. I just take my wreath frames and I draw around the wreath frames, and then I cut out my felt circles. And I will just attach those with zip ties. Yeah, the little ones. So I'm just going to keep moving this around, and you can also move the green leaves. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you're going to be able to see quite the wholeness of this wreath, but I think that this gives you a good idea of it. So I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial, and like I said, this is for my sister-in-law for 28 years now, since 1989, I believe, Tracy. So, oh my goodness, we're 29 years. So, this way she's got a new wreath for her door. So, I hope you like it. I'm going to now take, you know, the felt, and I'm going to put it on the back. And I will take a picture of this and post this on my Facebook page so you can see the finished product. And I'm looking for and I just dropped something. I usually have little scissors. So you just go through and you get rid of your, you know, any of your frays. But thank you, everybody. And I hope that you enjoyed it. And have a wonderful evening. And I hope to hear more from you and see more of your flowers. Bye-bye.